So, using one deck this time because that's what I feel like doing, and I really like this deck. We have the Knight of Swords, Seven of Cups, Ten of Wands as the main story. And we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands as the overall outcome. So I think overall you're in for a busy week this week. I feel like work-wise you're going to have a lot to take care of, a lot to accomplish. There might be a lot of demands on you as well, just in general. So I do feel conflicting energy with the Seven of Cups, and I think that's you trying to solve a lot of problems, because I get this burden and I feel like there are a lot of issues that are coming up, and it doesn't only have to apply to work, but it can just apply to just a general vibe. Overall, you have issues with people. When it comes to communication, that can be confusing. You don't know what someone's trying to communicate to you. They're not being clear. You're trying to figure it out, the Seven of Cups. And other people might be confused by you. This sort of somewhat of a dysfunction that's coming up this week can be a burden on you because you don't know how to resolve all these issues that are coming up. You're trying to find, the perfect solution for yourself for this week, but it's not quite coming up. With the outcome cards, I think for the majority, it might relate to work, this whole difficulty communicating, a lot of responsibilities that's coming up. I feel like it relates to work, whatever you do on a day-to-day for money, for instance, or if you don't work at all, you're a stay-at-home like mom or dad, for instance, then it's still about a lot of responsibility at the home. And you might actually have, side projects, hobbies that still you consider to be a job of sorts. And whether or not it provides money, it's still something that you actively do and keep yourself busy with. And I feel that whatever those things might be, again, there's this lack of clarity in regards to how to proceed forward. You got a lot of these issues creeping up, and you almost can't. You can handle it, but it almost feels like you can't. With the Ten of Wands, you're a bit exhausted by the end of the week. Anyway, outcome, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. And I think this is an opportunity. This is an offer. And for some, this will be a message that comes in. And whatever the case may be, with this energy, the Nine of Wands, you're a little bit skeptical of what's being offered. So if it's like a job opportunity that does come up by the end of the week, you're like, what's the catch? If this is someone, trying to explain themselves in detail because the situation felt, again, so confusing where communication was concerned, and they're trying to provide clarity on their end for you, it's like you don't buy what they have to sell you. That's what I'm feeling overall. Others might be trying to sell someone else an idea or a picture, and not necessarily like an actual picture, but you're trying to get something across. And you're trying to be very detailed with the Knight of Pentacles. But it might be that this thing you're trying to present isn't quite coming across the way you've intended. Because I get this cautious, why don't they understand or buy into what I'm saying? That's the vibe I'm getting with this combination. And I hope that doesn't sound negative. I don't mean it to come off that way. I just feel a lot of cautious energy surrounding this opportunity, or again, something you're trying to present yourself. All right, so Knight of Wands. For some, this opportunity can make you quite emotional with the Ace of Cups. You might be in love with the idea too that's being presented to you, or the message is coming in. You might find it fascinating, but at the same time you feel like it's too good to be true. It's like your emotions want to latch on to the offer, but there's some other part of you that's saying, be careful, it could be too good to be true. Not that it is or it isn't, but it feels that way. You're very uncertain when it comes to this opportunity coming in. And for some, it can be a romantic offer. It could be someone that you would normally consider reliable, trustworthy. You've known them for a long time, since they're pentacles and they're usually stable. They might already be a part of your life. But other instances, other experiences you've had in terms of love leaves you again feeling weary and just, I'm not sure. Sorry, not that I'm not sure, but you're saying to yourself, I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this opportunity yet. More healing might need to be done, for instance. Okay, so let's see the burdens. All right, we got Judgment. So this is a bit of a wake-up call. It could also be, again, information that's coming in that's quite big news, revelation of sorts, and it's a lot to take on. It's like one day, let's just pick a day. Let's say Wednesday, someone or a group of people make a huge announcement, and that announcement ends up, meaning, oh, okay, now I've got to take on X, Y, and Z. All right, I just found this out, but now I'm responsible for all these other things I wasn't responsible for. I'm getting that vibe where you're just learning about all these new expectations for yourself. That might most likely come from other people, which I think for the most part it does relate to a job, but of course I like to leave it open because it's general. Whatever this, again, revelation that's happening, there's some disappointment over it. You expected more, and now you have the burden on your shoulders, and it's an emotional burden too. With the 5 of Cups, I won't go as extreme as depressed, but you're just sad over a situation turning out this way. Can we get an overall positive message of the week for our Aquarius? I love that. I like this deck. So I needed an overall positive message. This is just a energy for the week, but it feels, it feels like let's just move on to the next week. Forget this week. And, it has the star here. So I'm taking this, and I know some of you are going to say it came out in reverse, but I don't care. This feels hopeful to me. Don't lose hope. Don't think that the world is crashing down. This is just representative of a week. It might be a little bit tough. You might feel overwhelmed and overworked, but it's all right. You're going to be able to get through it. I mean, 10 of Wands, if anything, the dude he figures out how to make the 10 Wands work. He carries it over his shoulder, usually in other decks. And, he does make it. Even if it's a long road, he does make it. So this is saying, keep up the positive spirits, honestly. I think it's just going to be one of those weeks that's a little meh, and we'll look forward to the one afterwards. All right, and if you may, give me Knight of Swords. All right, apologies, I have to pause temporarily. All right, so we have the 5 of Pentacles as the clarifier for the Knight of Swords. This can just be, you're trying to clarify and maybe even discuss finances with other people or a particular person. And I don't think, again, because of the 7 of Cups and the 10, you're trying to maybe figure out, let's say you live with someone. Like, why are we running out of money constantly? What's going on? What's all this financial issues about? How do we resolve this? But I think this week is going to be a difficult week to find a resolution. And hopefully it'll come afterwards. You just might need to get a bit of a clear head. And this isn't the week that to do so, basically. So I think you'll be discussing financial matters, that you don't make enough, or there's basically issues where money's concerned and you're looking again to resolve the problem. I just think, as I've said 1,000 times, it might be hard to find a solution this week. At least a satisfying solution is not coming up for this week. Just keep on the hope, and you'll gain clarity over time. All right, so Deception does come to mind. Moon and 5 of Swords are the 2 cards that I'm fixated on. That makes me feel like a negative person, but I just wanted to say the word deception, or hidden things surfacing this week, possibly. Anyway, for the main story, we have the Moon, the 2 of Wands, and the World. So I think with the energy of the moon, you're trying to go deep within yourself and figure out a solution or figure out a direction for yourself. And it's possible it seems like you're definitely leaning in one direction. I mean, this one's holding a wand, but it's a little bit conflicting too, because this wand feels in front and where the hand is leading, but at the same time, he's holding this one. And the moon, can be confusing energy. It's a bit nebulous. You don't know. You're operating with the light of the moon, which is not necessarily all that helpful to find your way in the dark. I mean, at least there's light, but sometimes you might step on something that you didn't know was there because you weren't able to see it. So it feels like navigating through the dark a bit to find the direction for yourself. And I think you're trying to end a pattern, or maybe just a situation, obtain closure, I do think you're trying to close out some form of pattern. It could be, again, that you're going in deep in your emotions to try and figure out a solution, which could be a scary thing sometimes, depending on how you deal with emotions. But I get this vibe of trying to make a clear decision that results in an ending for you on way to a new cycle. And it's an ending. The world for me is usually a good ending. It's like closing out a situation in the best possible way and then moving on to a new level from that. And I just feel like that's what you're trying to do. There's also a story here about a choice that you're making, that you're hiding from the world. And what I mean by the world is your world, your friends, your family, people around you. They don't know that you're thinking about something so heavily. And this could be a big decision with the moon there, because it feels like there's a lot of inner conflict in making this choice. But the reason why I also feel like people may be unaware is with this Five of Swords. Five of Swords is my card for deception. There's manipulation, lies that are tied. There could be, for some, a secret affair or a secret relationship that's occurring in the background. You just haven't revealed it yet for a particular reason. Others of you, the lovers, could represent a decision, that you're trying to make without the input of others. Almost like you're just trying to do it secretly and figure it out on your own. And then once it's all said and done, then you kind of tell people, oh yeah, so this is now the case. And it may come as a surprise to others. But for most, I do think there's some secret relationship that might be lingering in the background that you haven't quite revealed. And either I feel like maybe you're considering how to do so. Maybe you're thinking about taking the relationship to another level. And that's something that you're trying to figure out. With the moon, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So a lot of this energy of, feeling in the dark or going inside, internal, and figuring out your emotions, I feel like it's tied to your independence and maybe even work or your self-worth. It's like you're looking within. This is an individual card for me. So I definitely feel like you're looking internally within yourself. And there feels like there might be this need for independence as well. I just feel like saying that, independence and freedom. Like, I feel like you almost want to let that bird go. That's what I'm seeing with that one for some reason. The Two of Wands has the Knight of Swords. So whatever choice you're making, I think it involves having to communicate something to someone. Now, it's not clear as to who you're communicating to, but that's what you intend to do. Once you figure it out, you got to tell someone something. And it's like a bit of a reveal. But you're trying to figure out the words, when to say it, how to say it. With the World, we have the Page of Wands. So again, I feel like this might be some sort of not advertisements, but advertising, speaking about a situation out loud to people and sort of, again, revealing that so-and-so is now the case, so-and-so has happened, this is what you've done, and, that's pretty much it. I can't see this any other way for some reason. It just feels like an announcement to the world, your family and friends. And I think, again, it might involve a relationship. Oh, okay. So we have the Queen of Wands creeped up. This could be someone that you're partnered with or you're thinking about. This could be the secret lover as well. And this is what you're attempting to come clean about. Maybe this is the person you want to talk to, or your partner, you need to communicate something with them, whether it's something you've been doing behind their back or something that they've been doing and you've become aware of it and you're just trying to figure out like how to confront them, for instance. That can be the thing. Maybe they have another partner. You know, you've gathered up all your information and you're sort of figuring out, all right, how do I confront, how do I deal with this? And then you have to basically tell your friends and family what the deal is, because maybe they had no idea. But you're trying to, again, deal with the situation quietly. And then after everything is done, you'll tell people, oh yeah, I'm no longer with that person. Or, oh yeah, this just happened. And they're like, oh, that's big news. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty much what's coming up for your reading. I hope it makes some form of sense. Until the following reading, thank you for watching. Bye.